Hello everyone, this is a Fox Hunter. Today I'm talking about this YouTuber that I have previously mentioned on one of my videos before. This guy goes by a name I don't like to use to refer to him. I have previously explained that the reason is because that name is of an entity that is similar to an angel that is closer to God. And this guy is not closer to God. This guy is a piece of shit, certified piece of shit. And I don't like following this guy. I don't like checking on what this guy says. He puts out low quality content full of lies and misinformation. Everything, he's constantly pandering to the right wing. And even though I'm not a leftist, I just dislike dishonesty. I hate people who lie. I hate people who are disingenuous. And this guy, he's pretty much almost everything that I hate, but still I don't want to give him too much attention. But in this occasion, I feel compelled because, my God, the disingenuous, the lies of this guy. You'll see what I'm talking about. Now, in this video, he's talking about the assassinations that were carried by ICE agents in Minneapolis. He talks about the case of Nicole Renee Good and the most latest one, Alex Pretti. Now, we're going to hear his reason, and then I'm going to pause and explain to you why he's lying. Okay, so let's start with the beginning. Let's start watching this guy, and I'll stop on minute 155.
I think the time has finally come for me to address the incidents that occurred in Minneapolis, aka the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good and the fatal shooting of Alex Pretti. All of this having to do with the larger topic of ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The first thing I would like to say before we dive into the details, and there's a lot to cover. I'm going to talk about both incidents, but the first thing I have to say is that I've already seen some people in the comments, and of course Reddit and whatnot, and X saying, oh look, Metatron immediately talked about Charlie Kirk's assassination, but he's completely silent when it comes to both Renee Good and Alex Pretti, so these incidents that have to do with ICE. Let me address that very quickly. I did, indeed, speak immediately about what happened to Charlie Kirk because it was cut and dry, at least when it comes to him being the victim of an assassin. It was clear as day, the footage was irrefutable. Now, people did come up with all sorts of conspiracies, and then there was the whole manhunt, sure. But in these cases, the reason why I didn't immediately jump the GUN and make a video about it is because, to be fair with you, I wasn't sure what happened. I reviewed the data, I reviewed the videos, at least the initial videos, it wasn't clear to me. So I waited for body cam footage to come out, seeing what professionals were saying, because the reality fact is this: I didn't want to misinform, I didn't want to make a statement just for money, because of course if I made a video about it immediately, regardless of what my take would be, yeah, that would be the most advantageous. In fact, it's very likely that this video that I'm making now won't have the same level of reach. But at the end of the day, I don't want to misinform. I don't want to state something as it's a fact, and then further data analysis or review of the footage by professionals is going to reveal and paint a completely different picture. So I waited to gather data before opening my mouth.
As you can hear from his own words, he wanted to wait and gather data before speaking out. Now, that is bullshit. That is a straight up bullshit. The reason why he did this video is because he got pressured. Those comments, as he mentioned, on both Reddit and X, people calling him out on his hypocrisy. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he made a video right away. He didn't even want to assess the whole situation. And the reason why he did it back then is because he's a right-wing grifter and an opportunistic piece of shit. He knew that the moment that he was going to start supporting Charlie Kirk and mentioning him, he was going to bring in attention from all the right-wingers, and it worked. That's how he got to 1 million subscribers, from all those right-wing Kirk followers. And you can see that those people, they didn't stick around. They subscribed to him, but they don't come back to watch his videos. You can see right there that his videos barely break over 1,000K. His average is probably 40,000. But my God, this guy just puts out low quality content, nothing but lies and right wing pandering. So straight out, he's lying. He didn't want to wait, and I'm going to show you why he's lying. I'm going to show you why he's lying, and actually, yeah, let's jump to the section where he talks about Alex. As he talks about Renee Good, Nicole Renee Good, but he right away victim blames Renee Good, and it's just disgusting the way he analyzes that her case. For in some occasions he says that he cannot read minds, but then he goes in and read minds and puts out this, his descriptions are completely disgusting. But I want to jump to the section where he talks about Alex because that is the most blatant disingenuous arguments that you can hear. So let's jump to minute let's see, 1616. That's where he talks about Alex. Minute 1616. We're gonna listen to what he says about Alex, okay? And now, let me set this clear. He posted this video on the 26th, yesterday. The incident happened on the 24th. So he had a couple of days before he gathered, he actually decided to talk about. And as I mentioned to you guys, he didn't want to talk about this because, in my opinion, because this guy is a right-wing bootlicker, and he knows that in these two occasions, the ICE agents, they look bad. They just straight out look bad. And he didn't just wanted to talk about it. Plus, there is no profit into mentioning he wasn't going to get subscribers by talking about these two cases. No, he didn't saw the opportunity the same way that he saw when the Charlie Kirk assassination happened. That is the reason why he didn't post that video right away. Now, let's listen to this, to his arguments, and let's take it from there.
When it comes to Alex Pretti, I've reviewed the situation. There are people that are saying that he pulled a firearm on the officers. And of course, if that's the case, then it's totally normal that the officers, DHS, by the way, not ICE, it's totally normal that the officers responded to the threat and neutralized. I don't think that's what happened, though. It doesn't look like it. To me, it doesn't look like he took the weapon. Even now, after having reviewed all of the footage with all the clips, I'm still not 100% certain about what happened exactly.
So, do you hear that? He confesses that after a couple of days and reviewing the footage, he still doesn't know what happened. He doesn't know. Now, let's compare this piece of shit to a YouTuber that is more wholesome, more trustworthy, somebody who is worth paid attention, and that would be Moistcritical. Let's listen to what Moistcritical has to say about the situation on his video that he posted on the 23rd. Look, on the 24th, he posted this video much earlier than Metatron. Now, let's listen to what Moistcritical has to say about the assassination of Alex Pretti.
We're talking about something very serious today. Throughout the video, you're going to see my shirt changes. It's not some kind of like crazy, wacky, magic trick from America's Got Talent or anything. I actually filmed this video earlier this morning when the story first broke. It's the killing of Alex Pretti in Minnesota at the hands of border agents. And I made the video, but I was pretty heated and I wanted to kind of simmer down and take a break, so I went out before posting it. I just got home, and now even more angles and videos have been released that show beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a 100% unjustified killing of an American citizen here. And it seems like the execution stems from them finding out that he had a gun on his person. His Second Amendment rights. In all of the videos that exist, there is not a single moment where he is reaching for the gun, brandishing it, threatening with it, or anything at all, and we have video that shows the entire interaction from start to finish. His name was Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old nurse who worked in the ICU at Minneapolis VA healthcare system, and according to the police chief, he is a U.S. citizen with no prior interactions with law enforcement outside of a couple of traffic tickets, and believed to be a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. So for him...
Now, as we just heard from Charlie, from Moistcritical, it didn't took him several days to make a comment about the situation. On the first day, multiple angle videos show the whole situation, and Moistcritical straight out made a conclusion that the fault falls on behalf of the Border Patrol agents. So how come Moistcritical was able to put out a video the same day that happened, and yet Metatron had to wait a couple of days, and still, as he mentions, he still doesn't know what happened? Wow, what are the odds? Now, let's continue listening to what Metatron has to say, and how come he cannot come to a conclusion of what actually happened. So let's continue listening.
But there are a few points I want to make. Point number one, the guy should not have interfered with law enforcement operations again. And if you see ICE agents arresting someone, do not get involved physically. He did. Not only he did, but he did while he knew that he was legally carrying. That's a decision. Now, is it illegal? Am I against Second Amendment rights? No, you're absolutely fine. You should be entitled to it. It's fine. He had the license, he could carry, that's totally fine. But for instance, if you go, I don't know if you know this, but I do watch Chris Hansen, and often...
Okay. Let's pause it right there. Why the hell is he jumping to talk about Chris Hansen, to catch a predator? What the hell does that has to do with the assassination of Alex Pretti? Nothing. This guy, he's just, helping his video get longer so he can put more ads into it and get more revenue from the very few views that he's gonna be getting. That is the whole situation here. And now, as we just heard him say,
not only he did, but he did while he knew. I'm still not 100% certain about what happened exactly. But there are a few points I want to make. Point number one, the guy should not have interfered with law enforcement operations again. And if you see ICE agents arresting someone, do not get involved physically. He did.
He did. This guy who wanted to wait until all the evidence could be seen, that where everything could be seen and analyzed, and still this guy is claiming that Alex interfered in the investigation. We all have seen the videos, but just in case, to show everybody else what this moron couldn't see, let's watch the video one last time, okay?
Here's what the video from several different angles actually shows. We first see Alex Pretti observing the action, apparently recording it, and from time to time directing traffic through the scene. He was not brandishing the handgun that he was lawfully carrying in the holster in the small of his back, and he did not approach officers. Those agents approached Pretti. He had a cell phone in his right hand and nothing in his left. Federal authorities now have the phone and whatever video that he might have carried. However, they have not said what he managed to film, nor have they revealed what was on the body cameras that some of the border officers were wearing. And again, Pretti did not approach the officers. The video shows him moving to assist a woman who officers had shoved and knocked down. Officers pepper sprayed the both of them. They took him to the pavement too. One agent found his weapon on his waist. As we mentioned, it was in a holster. And again, to be clear, he was a lawful gun owner with a carry permit. Additionally, and this is crucial, as you see in the slowed down video, a federal officer took it from him before the shooting and before knocking him to the ground and piling on him and pummeling him in the head with a metal canister. None of the Border Patrol agents seemed aware he even had a gun. And then, in the space of about 5 seconds, two agents fired 10 shots, killing him. At one point, for some reason, you see one of the officers clapping several times. We've circled that in the video.
So that's the video. I mean, how many videos do you need to watch to come out with the conclusion that Alex intervened in the investigation as Metatron claims he did? What did he say again?
The guy should not have interfered with law enforcement operations again. And if you see ICE agents arresting someone, do not get involved physically. He did.
You see that? This guy took 2 days and still claims that he doesn't know what happened. Our boy over here, Moistcritical, that same day puts out a video and straight out tells us that what we're seeing, what we all are seeing, is what really happened, and that the administration is lying when they're trying to blame the whole thing on Alex Pretti. We can see right here that this guy Metatron, he's a lying piece of shit. And and as I mentioned on this video, he jumps from talking about the assassination of Alex to catch a predator. The whole thing is completely stupid. He doesn't need to talk about to catch a predator. Why does he does it? To make the video a lot longer and to put more ads into it. That's his whole goal. He's a disingenuous piece of shit. Now, I'm gonna speed it up so we can hear the reason why he's talking about the to catch a predator situation. Let's just hear his lack of logic, just really fast.
Not only he did, but he did while he knew that he was legally carrying. That's a decision. Now, is it illegal? Am I against the Second Amendment rights? No, you're absolutely fine. You should be entitled to it. It's fine. He had the license, he could carry, that's totally fine. But for instance, I don't know if you know this, but I do watch Chris Henson. And oftentimes, some of these predators, when they go into these houses, and they also carry a firearm with them, even though it's perfectly legal, the law uses that against them. Because it's not the problem is not that they're carrying a weapon. The problem is that they're carrying a weapon in a house when they're trying to meet a minor for sex. And so that changes everything. It's not that no one can carry legally, but depending where you carry, for instance, I think there is a law, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're not in fact allowed to carry a weapon, even if you're legally licensed to a full-on protest. And as far as I know, I guess it depends on the state, but then again, as far as I know, in the capital, you can't do that. So there are situations that are...
Now, we have to pause it right there. That was not a protest. Why is he saying that you shouldn't be carrying a gun in a protest? There was no protest. There was a situation where ICE agents were performing some activities, arresting some people. Alex was documenting from a safe distance with his phone. The agents approached Alex. He didn't interfere. He was on his right to carry a concealed gun because he had the licenses. He was not breaking any laws. Yet this guy, after multiple days, waiting to analyze the whole situation, still has everything wrong. So let's continue listening, just really fast.
Instances where having a firearm is a danger. So was he legally allowed to carry? Yes. In my opinion, the split second that he decided, I'm going to put myself in the middle of this, I'm going to stop physically the officer, and when they try to arrest me, instead of complying, he's struggling with them, he knows he has a weapon in all of this. And that's an extremely dangerous situation to put yourself in. Because once again, the officers don't know if you're a terrorist or if you're just a peaceful protester. Now, if it were me, I would have disclosed the fact that I had a firearm.
Okay. So let's pause it right there. This guy is just pontificating, just talking out of his ass. As we already saw the video, we saw the video he analyzed. We even see the ICE agent clapping, celebrating that somebody just lost their lives. And this guy is now pontificating, saying that if I would have been there, I would have complied with the officers. Alex did not struggle against the officers. Alex did not fought back against the officers. He did not intervene. We just saw that on the video. Moistcritical put out a video within the same day, and right away comes out to the conclusion that Alex was innocent. Yet this dork, this piece of dirt, cannot even get to that. Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna jump to this section right here. Let's continue listening.
Start struggling with the cops, they have a reason to think this guy is not peaceful. Stop struggling. Stop resisting arrest. As I was saying, if he did pull his GUN, his firearm, on them, then they are in the right to neutralize the threat. Let's talk about the disarming, though. It is clear that at one point they're disarming, and they disarm him, and then one of the cops screams, "Gun," right? He takes the gun, and then we hear a shot. It is possible that the gun misfired or fired. Did it fire because the officer literally pulled it from the trigger? I mean, it would be the stupidest thing on the planet if he did that. Some people say that this specific model is infamous for firing even when the trigger isn't engaged. I don't know if that's true or not, and if you're an expert on firearms, please let me know. Anyways, if that's the case, and the officer screamed "gun," disarmed him, imagine all the other officers now have few seconds to process this, and then they hear the shot, and they respond because they think that he shot them. It's an awful situation. It really is an awful situation. Because, no, they're in the wrong. If he was disarmed, right? If he was disarmed and then they shoot them, they're in the wrong. Problem is, though, they didn't have the luxury that I have to review this in slow motion, frame by frame. So in a situation like this, even though I do believe the officers were in the wrong, he wasn't a threat anymore. But they don't know that. They heard.
We just hear him say again that he analyzed the footage frame by frame. What footage? What was he analyzing? We just saw right now on the video of CNN the whole situation. It didn't took us that long to check to see that Alex didn't intervene. The agents came to him. We're seeing that with our own eyes, and yet this guy who has 1 million subscribers couldn't get to that conclusion. He says, I don't know what happened. After multiple times that I have reviewed the videos, I still don't know what happened. So let's listen a little bit more.
Heard the other officer saying "gun." They hear a gunshot. They respond to fire. I hate it. It's literally the worst possible thing that could have happened in this scenario. I don't think, though, that the guy pulled on them. I really don't. And I don't appreciate that I've seen people on my side saying that he did, and then they show a footage, and when I review the footage, it's quite clear that he didn't, at least to me. So let's not... I don't think this guy was some kind of domestic terrorist, but he clearly was someone who was pushed by the likes of Tim Walz to interfere. So as far as I'm concerned, the officers made a mistake. It was a mistake, but his life is on Tim Walz.
You hear that? This guy goes to the stretch of blaming it on Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota. It's just, this guy, he is just disingenuous. He's a liar. He doesn't deserve the attention. And we can see that his channel is trash. He might have 1 million views, but he can barely break over 100K per video. Nothing but lies, hate, homophobic comments, Islamophobic comments. This guy is a piece of shit. And that's why I wanted to talk about this guy. He's just disgusting. And thank goodness that we have people like Moistcritical who are calling a spade, who's saying that the government is lying to us, that they are blaming the victims, and that the ICE agents are just thugs, they're just bullies, criminals. When they don't even have a badge, they don't show their faces. They are a menace to society. And today, the chief of ICE was replaced, as far as I know. I forgot his name. He has a funny sounding name, but thank goodness he's out of the job now. Where things are gonna go from now, who knows? Hopefully the killings will stop. But yes, listening to people like this piece of shit is just infuriating. And good thing that his channel is not doing that well. But you know, I don't want to give him that much attention. But when he puts out videos like this, it's good to call him out for what he is. He's a liar, grifter, opportunistic piece of shit. White nationalist wannabe who is not even American. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. This guy, Metatron, loser, piece of crap. Yeah, what a miserable loser. So okay, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I make on this channel, click a like and subscribe. And thanks again for everything. This is a Fox Hunter. I'll see you guys later. Take care and bye-bye for now.